Only 7 months are left for exam. I think I missed the bus. Should I prepare for CAT 26 or am I late for 25? I really don't know.
Anna, I don't think so. I think you should definitely go for 2025. I will have a crack at saying how we can do this. Now I made big promise. I've said, look, we will somehow give the path or show the light. Fine. So we're just having some fun. We keep doing this, how to prepare in this many months very frequently. So I want to do different frameworks. The idea or the themes are going to be the same, how to prepare, but this time we're going to do a slightly different framework. And so in Quant, the big ball game, the big idea, big theme is revision. And so I'm going to show this thematically, show this with diagrams. And so this what is called as a spiraling plan to learning. What do I mean by that? So we add layers on top for learning. And so what is meant by this? So it's almost like go up a spiraling staircase. At each point, if you look up, there'll be that point in many layers. And so the idea is, so suppose you add a bunch of topics, then you keep revisiting them rather aggressively. And very important to keep revisiting. So it is not like one spiraling track, you have to imagine multiple spiraling tracks. And so I'm going to try to have a stab at this. The whole idea here is want to think very heavily about revision. And very, very important to account for revision. So when you're preparing for the first time, you probably start with arithmetic and then continue with arithmetic. Imagine a big spiral here. You're learning lots of arithmetic topics, but even within that you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you start revisiting. Right? Then when you go to the next leg of the journey, you're still continuing with arithmetic. So arithmetic, let's say we call it arithmetic 1, 2 and 3. Right about 10, we say, hey, nice, we have done this. We have added layers to arithmetic. We're comfortable with this. We can move on to other topic. And then we say, no, we're not going to move on to other topic. We'll revise arithmetic 1. And then when you go to the next layer, we add a topic and then we revise arithmetic 2. The best topic to add in the next layer is going to be algebra. You add that, but you're revising arithmetic 2. And then the next cycle, we probably add geometry and revise arithmetic 3. I've been using a different thing for revising, so we'll use that. By this time, our topic speed will go up, revision speed will go up. And we say, look, now I'll take stock. I'll revise algebra, geometry, have another go at arithmetic, and then along the way add number systems. Revisit algebra, geometry, number systems, arithmetic. And so, as a theme, add topics to your kitty, but don't add a bunch of topics and then start revisiting. Fine. So if you do arithmetic 1, arithmetic 2, go to arithmetic 3, but before that revise arithmetic 1. If you do percentages, profit and loss, speed, time, distance, races, then you add ratios, mixtures, you do averages, do basic exponents, come back to percentages, profit and loss. Look at simple interest, compound interest again for the first time. Based on some topic. The topic sequence orders, topic names are not relevant. Break it in some form, but incorporate revisiting very, very, very aggressively, because topics tend to fly out of the head. They'll just go away. And so if you come back and look at percentages after 4 months and you feel blank, there's every chance that you'll be intimidated and you'll feel like, look, I'm not cut out for this. I simply can't cope with this. And so that is very scary. And typically the revisiting time taken for a given topic, suppose it took you this long to finish percentages, next round will be this much, third round will be this much, and then it crashes. If it took you 40 hours to finish something, second time it will probably be 25, third time will be 10, and then it will be 4, 3, very less. But the step between here to here is super crucial, because if there is too long a gap, then our mind starts saying, look, I'm blank. I don't know anything. Your mind won't back it to say, look, it will take some time, but it will all come back to me. That confidence will go away. So in Quant, the entire theme is going to be about aggressively revisiting, relentlessly, frequently, continuously. Do 3 topics, go to the 4th one, 5th one, come back to 1, 2. Do 6, 7, come back to 3, 4. Do 8, 9, 10, come back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to consolidate what you know every now and then. And the big team, gigantic team here, the one we keep touching on over and over again, is arithmetic is the ball game. So if you have arithmetic in the bag, you have a route to 91, 92 percentile. And that clears all section cutoffs and gives you a cushion to operate with. Then you can add algebra or geometry or number systems. When I say algebra, the topics I mean are quadratic equations, linear equations part of it, inequalities, functions, polynomials, all come together. Right? Geometry, trigonometry, mensuration, coordinate geometry, all come together. Right? Number systems, number properties, factors, factorials, reminders, all of that, and permutation probability will also come in here. Right? So some of these topics can be vast, so limit them, simplify them to keep them relevant for CAT. But the big theme here that I want to definitely touch on very aggressively is incorporate revision very essentially as part of your schedule. Very often revision gets slipped out, so no consolidation happens. You feel like you've covered a lot of syllabus, and then you get smacked when you look at it again, because then it feels like nothing has been done because you don't remember anything. And then when that happens, that's a big confidence hit. But if you revisit, your speed of revisiting improves. If you revisit percentages, it's very tough, but then you grab it. The third time you look at percentages, it seems like, look, I've got this. Then you will understand that I can one more revisit of coordinate geometry and it will all fall in place. That confidence will come after consolidating a topic. And so the topic time taken will crash and crash dramatically, but it is going to be high for round 1 and round 2. This is where the intimidation happens. Round 1 to round 2 is where one level of fear creeps in, saying, hey, what am I cut out for this? I've forgotten everything. Mujhe to kuch nahi pata hai. That creeps in that round 2 phase. But if you power through that round 2, it falls in place. And so big theme for us for this cycle is revision, revisiting very aggressively. And if you want to put a timeline to it, keep this as May, June, July, August, September, October. By end of August, first week of September, the entire syllabus is covered with a bunch of revisions thrown in. September 15th onwards, you're aggressively only revising, while parallelly also doing mocks and practicing for that. Right? So, lovely. This is for Quant. What do we do for LRDI? LRDI, there's one slight thematic thing that I want to do. Start with basics of LR, basics of DI as probably 2 different tracks, right? Which is pie charts, bar graphs, line graphs, different types of data representation, simple syllogisms, puzzles and all of that. You will not get questions like this, but you cannot go into serious territory without kind of building brain muscle for this. And so get used to this world by doing this, while also parallelly starting to solve puzzles like Wordle or Sudoku or something like that, where you keep doing that, right? Now, on top of this, moment you've done got some level of comfort, maybe you've spent a month covering a lot of territory, all specifically, individually, independently useless, but you're getting your brain muscle ready for the tougher battles, right? Straight away, I would say, take this and jump on and do a bunch of previous year questions. Maybe do 2017-18, they're simpler, they're plentiful, and you get a hang of what this exam is, which is very important. In LRDI, you do a lot of theory and then you take a mock or a previous year question. It could be completely out of shape. What you have done as theory could be either too easy or too difficult. In both cases, there's trouble. Getting a hang of what is this level of difficulty is super important for LRDI. Super important. Right? After you've gotten a hang of, hey, what is this? I wouldn't even say 2018, 17, 18, you can do 21, 22. 2017, 18, 19 are easier. 20, 21, 22 are even tougher. Right? After this comes the meat of your preparation. Here, the focus is completely going to be on variety, range of things. And the one thing I would insist is to look at the solutions in great detail. And solutions have to be link to the thought process. And so very often in 2IM when we do solutions, we do it elaborately, sometimes over elaborately, because we say, look, I feel this, then I got stuck. Then I realized that this is not the way to go. I should look at it the other way around and then start all over again, because our mind intuitively takes a path. We get beaten up there and then we have to revisit. Our solutions speak to those rhythms. Sometimes I look at solutions on the web where they say, once you solve this, there are 4 possible tables, and they'll give the 4 tables. I'm like, if you give me the 4 tables, then nothing, I'm just marking answers. If you tell me I can figure out and write the 4, then it's just an answer key, not a solution. In LRDI, going to the final point, but in the most natural, intuitive way in which anyone would have approached it, that is very important. Sometimes the solutions are very unintuitive. They'll say stuff like, oh, we know that starting with this is not possible, therefore we feel, why is that not possible? I started by doing that. I realized it was not possible after 7 minutes, by which time I'm sweating buckets. So I want the solution to be along that intuitive path that everybody would take, which is a big focus area for us at 2IM. So have a look at the solutions as long as they're intuitive. Done. Now you've got what CAT level questions are. We've done the basics, you've built the muscle, you've done focused in variety. What do I do? Now I say, look, I'll come back and do lots of previous year questions. So again, it's a big theme for me, because in previous year questions, you have 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And so 7 years worth of puzzles. In an average year, there are probably 15. Some years there are more, some years there are fewer. There's more than 100 LRDI sets. Typically, to solve a set, it probably takes 20 minutes. To then see the solutions again, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Just previous year questions, it flirts with there being 70, 80 hours of study material. It's a lot. It's beautiful. Lots of times students hoard previous year sets as saying, look, I will take this as a mock, I will take this as a mock, and then end up not even seeing that. Very essential part of your toolkit of syllabus of preparation material for LRDI centers around previous year questions. Account for that, integrate it with your preparation plan, use it very aggressively. Hoard maybe 2024 and 23 papers. So that's whatever, 30 LRDI sets, 6 different mocks that you can take as a real-time mocks. Everything else you should look to solve. Worst case scenario, hoard 2022 also. Don't hoard from 2017. After this, very straightforward, do a set of maybe the tougher puzzles just to build our brain for even hanging in there for 35-40 minutes. Sign off with previous year papers as mocks. You're ready. The theme here is integrate previous year questions into your pedagogy, into your learning path very aggressively. Those questions are beautiful. Solutions are frequently very detailed. They give you a sense of what is CAT level intuitively, and they get basically unwittingly, subconsciously get you CAT ready, and I got this, and that feeling is very important. Right? When you're doing LRDI through this entire journey, don't do question selection. Don't look at 2017 previous year questions 5 sets and say I'll crack this as a section test today, and I would have done only these 3 sets. No, do 1 set at a time, see it through. If it takes you 45 minutes, it's all right. These tough questions, the ones where you'll spend 40 minutes on, all right, spend that 40 minutes. You're not training your brain to do a question just like that. You're training your brain to not give up, even if it is very time consuming. And so, like I said in Quant, the entire theme was revision. How do you keep revisiting, consolidating and building? Here the entire theme is getting an intuitive sense, subliminal sense, automatic sense of what is CAT level. What kind of questions will feature in CAT. Right? Verbal. And I'm going to say a couple of things that Jatin may not agree with. Right? This he agrees with. The bedrock of verbal preparation is reading. Right? Read well, read lots, read with variety, read irreverently, read from different genres, read from different lens, different locations, different sites, different websites, different blogs, different books, novels, novellas, whole shebang. Read when you're busy, read when you're tired, read when you're happy, read when you're sad. And your mood, your state of mind, your how busy or how relaxed you are, all of that. Right? but keep on reading relentlessly. Right? So in reading, there is a big chunk which is called passive reading and a smaller chunk which is active reading. Passive reading, I'm not taking notes, I'm not writing down, I'm not looking to retain. Unwittingly, automatically, I keep reading. Passive reading is very important for stuff like picking the tone, grabbing onto wit. When you take any of your favorite English or Hindi or Tamil movies which are very funny, and then read it as a script, and then read the dialogue and pour over it and analyze it, all the wit will go away, all the fun will go away. You're not laughing out loud. Right? So, but if you just grab it, just go as a smooth ride, then you can visualize the scene and there's a smile on your face. So passive reading is super important to get stuff like the wit and tone, very crucial for that. On this, add layers of critical thinking. This I'm going to gloss over. Critical thinking is what I would call it. So figure out the assumptions, figure out the main idea of the passage, all of that. Author's tone, and then you add one layer of picking between the last two choices. Right? I'm keeping it very nebulous, not non-specific, because I don't want to focus on this. I want to focus on this. 75-80% of your verbal preparation is going to center around reading. On this bedrock, you're going to add layers of finesse, nuance. Right? So that comes later. But if the reading muscle is not there, everything else is useless. So spend enormous amounts of time reading, and that's the theme. Finally, on mocks, take one mock right now, today, right, or this week, tomorrow, day after. Increase your mock frequency, settle onto a mock rhythm. Mock count and rhythm and discipline and this many number we are doing, those are important variables. Right? I'm not going to give an idea about how to plan for your mocks. Typically in mocks, your mock scores with mock count, there's a volatility underneath it, which is very heavy, right? But you will find this going there. You will have a lot of, typically, some students are born lucky, they'll land there, 99 percentile in the first mock that they take, right? So I was one such, so I have particularly clear awareness about how that happens. And it's very annoying for friends and people who are preparing with you. But otherwise, if you're in that brigade, have fun, enjoy your preparation, nail this exam. If you're not, let's say the vast majority of people are, there's every chance that you will find a plateau very early. You do all kinds of things, but your score never gets, the total score never crosses 30 marks or 35 marks, never crosses it. Sometimes it is 16, 18, sometimes it is miserable 12, 13 overall. And sometimes it is 33, 34, 35, but very rarely do I go beyond 35, right? And then you crack it, and then you say, look, I'll simplify this. I need to get 15 marks in each section, only 5 questions in verbal, only 5 questions in quant, only 1 set in LRDI. I got this. And then you start reaching a point where you consistently hit this plateau. Right? And then you say, look, I'm getting this, but I can't be happy with the 35. I need to go to this one, which is probably a 15. You've got that, you're very comfortable, and then you're floating around in this area. And then something else falls in place. Your mind has consolidated a bunch of ideas. You're very comfortable with standard territory. Now you have bandwidth to chase the trickier ones. You find the next plateau, which is probably 75 marks. And then one more after that. Right? What happens in this journey? Right? Lots of old-fashioned background, unknown things. I don't know what's happening, but I'm getting better. And very often it happens. And when you're learning how to bicycle or learning how to drive a car, it's not one thing that magically falls in place, but something falls in place. That's going to happen. Apart from this, some trick, some technique change, some way of selecting questions. You get better at one skill set. You get super quick in arithmetic. You fly off the shelves in LRDI. You know which passage to leave really, really well in verbal. Some one thing like that takes you from one journey to another. It is tougher and tougher for subsequent climbs. Going from 75 to 90 is incredibly tough. You look back when you're consistently hitting 71, 72, you look back at your 35, 36 days and say, look, oh, I used to struggle to get 35. and I had to find so many tricks to go to 50. Now I'm confident of getting 70 in more or less every paper. And so these journeys in hindsight will look simpler, previous journeys. The next journey was the one that looks the steepest. Right? Typically students have 3 legs in them. So one spurt, one more spurt, one more spurt. So don't lose heart if a few mocks don't go your way. Keep plugging away. Techniques, tricks, inputs from people like me, from your friends, your peers, your mentors, they may all help in making one chunk. Right? Old-fashioned, just count raw processing power of having done many mocks, resilience that you build. They're all playing a role here, especially further and further. Going from 35 to 50 is reframing the question. 50 to 70 is improving in question selection. 70 to 80 is probably being more intense. 80 to 90, it's some magical X that's not covered in any of this, but raw grind and your brain gets 10% better. 90 to 95, even tougher. When subsequent journeys get tougher, no doubt about it. But this is how your journey will be. You will go from one plateau that you're kind of comfortable with, struggle, stay there for 5-6 mocks, something falls in place, you naturally go to the next plateau, struggle there for 5-6 mocks, and then go to the next one. Which means you need to give yourself 20-25 mocks to travel. And you need to be very aggressively not disheartened when you're in a plateau. You have to say, look, I've found my level, I'm consolidating my gains, I'm comfortable with this. Something will come that takes me another 7 marks, 10 marks, 14 marks higher. I'll hang in here. Super important. Your mock journey is definitely not going to be this nice, smooth upward curve where you go from scoring 35 in a mock to 103 in after 23 mocks. No, not going to happen. Even in this journey, it's going to be volatile. Doesn't matter. That's all right. So it's preparing through a bunch of mocks is also a test of temperament. You have to accept that it's a test of temperament. It's super important to do that. And so I wanted to cover some broad themes rather than give you a specific schedule and plan. There's a specific schedule and plan available. There's a schedule available on the 2IIM website. There's a very specific 7-month, 8-month plan available as a video. An 8-month plan starting with April, make a few tweaks, that is ready. The links will be there on this very video. I want to focus on some themes rather than giving a hard, clear schedule to work with. Hopefully this works. Do give us your feedback. Best wishes. Okay.